Hi everyone! So I just wanted to check in and I hope everyone's okay and doing well. I know I haven't been on here for ages. I've been in like a real mode of sort of self-discovery and reconnecting and working through new ways of being actually. So I've been really focused recently on Lilith really wanted to come and join. I've been really focused on. So I think I said it in a video that in January and February, I just really, really was drawn to completely isolate and go within, which is kind of interesting that now everyone's doing the same thing. I really sort of the very end of December, January and February, I was really, really isolated. I can only think that I went out just to do some jobs, and I'm self-employed, so I wasn't even, it's not like I was working every day. I did like a small amount of jobs. And then aside from the editing that I was doing from them, I really did just spend the rest of the time just really being. I was watching, I was really getting back into some old spiritual books, like original practices, rather than watching the Twin Flame videos and psychology, various different things. So I was going back to really kind of old school spirituality, and I was just really, really drawn to go within, to just be and to not judge anything, and to just really embrace and allow what was. And I let go of sort of manifesting or asking for anything. I stopped doing all of that stuff, and I just really allowed everything. Like, I really focused on just reconnecting to my inner self, just aligning with my inner self, and trusting that the outer would fill in. And I've done this at various stages on the journey, and there's always that horrible like void feeling when you do that. And I think sometimes it kind of puts you off continuing, because you're like, well, by doing this I feel so yucky and so void and just so nothingness, and I'm just not having any like emotions. It's kind of like being emotionless. You don't get sad, but you don't really get happy either. You're just like being. And when you're not used to being, it's actually a very, very uncomfortable place to be, because the way that I've understood it and I see it is that we're so used to seeking outside of ourselves for happiness, that when you first realize, stop, and you come inside, you're just not used to finding it from that place. So there's this just period of just voidness. And it happens over and over again because we see through this in layers. Like, I've been having this for, years. And then you sort of start to fill yourself up, and then that's when eventually it just ticks and the outer starts to fill in, but it's different. It's not like when you desire something or you're doing something externally to make you happy. Is that you've aligned with yourself, you've come into presence, you've come into your inner joy, and your outer world is reflecting that. And then it's kind of, it's a continual process to stay in that. And I've been in and out of it a lot, but now I'm so conscious of the process that I'm able to get back into it easier, because I simply get into it by just being and by not judging things as good or bad, and to stop focusing on the external thing and to just go within and align. And I mean, I have been having instant manifestations by doing this. So I'm not saying that we don't manifest, because we do, but manifesting, it's like the best manifesting is when it comes from a place of intuition, from our inner being, from a place of alignment. And, it's happened a lot for me in my life where I've had everything come in that I've ever wanted, and then I've lost it. And I see all of this so clearly now. Like, I've really had everything sort of been revealed and made so clear that the reason for this is I aligned and all these things come in, and then I attach to them, so they all just boom. So the key really is just non-attachment. That's the key to manifesting your dreams, to being happy. You connect your inner self, you align, you let go of the attachment, you let go of the judgment. Because judgment is really an attachment, because let's say it's about a specific person. If you're like, oh, they don't want me, and that's making me feel some way, and you're having an emotional reaction to it, it's actually you're judging that experience based on an attachment. A lack of judgment is kind of a lack of having an emotional reaction or attachment to anything outside of yourself. And yeah, this is where I've been. I had 3 straight weeks of absolute joy. And what's really interesting is I had about 4 weeks. Interestingly, because I'd wanted to meet new people in my area, because I lived a completely different side of where I live. And to get there now is way over an hour. And it's not that I don't want to continue being friends with people. I mean, my friends live all over the place anyway, even in different countries. But I had been saying that I really, really wanted to find a tribe that were close to me, that lived really near, and just like a few minutes drive, or you could just walk. And I knew I wouldn't find them by looking. I just knew. And I aligned with myself, and I got invited to this event, and then instantly I met loads of people. And then since then it's been happening. And it's funny because we were moving into social distancing at that time, but at that time we could go to small events and hang around with like 1 or 2 other people. So it just kind of coincided with the end of that. So there's all those connections have been started. And it really just came from, everybody's experience right now is going to be different depending on how aligned you are with yourself. For me, I'm not really having any different experience to what, I do normally in life. I'm going out and getting my shopping. I'm not having to queue. I've never seen a shortage. I've not bought into there being any shortage. I guess I'm just intuitively knowing what shops to go to, because there's never been... I have a funny story. So I wanted to oppose all the empty shelf toilet paper thing, because I knew that I was creating a lack of toilet paper. Just the pictures. It was never a lack of toilet paper. We just created a lack of toilet paper by sharing empty pictures of shelves. So I would always, every time I went into a shop, I would take pictures of all the toilet rolls, and I'd be like, there's loads of toilet rolls here. And everywhere I went, there was toilet rolls. And it got to the point where I laughed about toilet rolls so much, and I just thought it was so funny, that I went to this health shop, which was a really good supply of toilet rolls. It was always had toilet rolls. And they'd obviously realised there was a lack of toilet rolls in the world, and they'd taken over the whole front of the shop in toilet rolls. They were stacked to the ceiling, these recycled toilet papers, and they didn't sell takeaway food anymore. So the whole fridge was full of toilet rolls. Literally, I've never seen so many toilet rolls in my life. And it just made me laugh, because I knew I had manifested those toilet rolls, because I'd been talking about toilet rolls so much and laughing about how I always saw toilet rolls. So yeah, I'm just... And then I thought the other day, the only thing I really miss is it would be just nice to go on like drives and go out in nature. And then the next day, apparently I didn't even see it, but my friend told me the rules have changed now, so we can go for drives in nature. So, you're still creating your experience. Like, yeah, there's a greater experience, but you're still responsible for your individual... I think, you can't always change the circumstances, but you can change the way you react, and then your world will tend to mirror that reaction anyway. So she's been very good. My cat loves this period because she is getting me like 24/7. And now she gets really aggressive. But generally she likes me being around. Do you want to go? So yeah, all that really matters is your relationship and your alignment to yourself, and the rest just fills in. And the reason we struggle when we're manifesting or just living is because we start to attract when we let go of the attachment and we're just being, and we bring in the things that are in alignment with our higher self. And then as soon as we like lose that attachment and we start to try and attach onto it outside, then we just push it away and repel it, which is why you get into alignment, everything you want all comes in, you have a great experience, and then it goes again, and we get into these like cycles. And it's really that we brought it in because we managed to somehow slip into a state of being and non-judgment, non-attachment, and then we lost ourselves and we started chasing it outside of ourselves and getting all caught up in the drama of it. And it's kind of the same with the virus. Like there's this thing going on, and there's set conditions for different nationalities, but what's going on for you and what you're drawing into experience is completely based on how aligned you are to yourself, or how much you're just in all the head anxiety, head talk. And it's the same with, relationships, money, anything you want, you get into alignment, it comes in, then you start to have all the analytical behavior, you start to engage, you start to see it as something outside of yourself, and, it all goes. There's also the veils as well. I got these when I was doing Bart and Jodie's courses, actually, and the more and more that I look at them, the more that I can see the truth in them. I feel like there's this two-part thing. There's the beingness and the alignment, and then there's the integrating the ego veils, and they have the love, hate, savior and victim, and I think lust, hate, savior, victim, win and lose. And generally in every single experience where there's some form of triggering, and sometimes the trigger can be really mild, when you look at those ego programs, you really can see how it fits into one of them. Like you either, if you're getting into an argument about, I don't know, politics, it's probably because you want to wake somebody up and you want to tell somebody, I'm really guilty of that one, because you just like, how can you not see that eating healthily is, going to help your immune system and be the most beneficial thing you can do right now. But that's really coming from that wanting to save somebody, and not seeing that they have the power to tap into that. It's okay to plant the seed. I mean, I think we're here to plant the seeds, but it's the level of engagement and like the level of pushiness, right? I'm still working on that on myself. It does sometimes you just can't help yourself. But, it's just then you integrate it. And the sooner you can integrate it, the sooner, that situation can resolve. And then, the winner loser is like, you want to be the one that wins the argument. You want to be the one that, is right. There's just so many ways these play out, and integrating those and working through the veils of the ego. See, this is the thing with the spiritual journey, is I feel like when we first wake up, we simply replace the ego, the normal ego, for spiritual ego, which is still looking outside of ourselves. It's like looking to tarot cards for answers, looking to astrology, looking for something outside of ourselves to fulfill us or give us excitement. rather than, when you first start to come into alignment, it's actually like a really void feeling. It's awful feeling, actually. It just feels so empty, like nothing can fulfill you. Like there's nothing in life, like somebody could give you everything you've ever wanted as your wildest dreams, and it's not fulfilling. And I've had that period loads, but if you sit through it and you really embrace it, then the beauty is really on the other side of that. And there's different layers of that too. But that really is you starting to really see through seeking fulfillment outside of self. And when you stop doing that to begin with, like, we're so not used to finding it within and being in balance and being present, that it's a really weird feeling to begin with. And sometimes that can last for a long, long time, where you just don't experience joy. But the more you just go into that void, which is what I did in January and February, because it's dragged for me a lot more in the past, but I really just went into it and I completely allowed it for what it was. And I said, I'm going to do nothing. I'm not going to do a thing until I get into an energy where I feel a guidance or something shows up and gives me a starting point. I'm not going to try and make anything happen. And then all of a sudden, everything filled in really quickly. So for me, that was the quickest way out of the void, was to completely embrace it and do nothing until I felt inspired or something showed up that was clearly guided on, that had come as a product of my new state of being. But yeah, that void feeling is perfectly normal. It's just learning to find the joy and the alignment inside of self. And we're not used to it if we've lived all of our lives like seeking it in external things, and that can even be spiritual things. There's a massive stage, I think almost everybody goes through it, where you become spiritual and you just literally swap the ego for spiritual ego. And you just change the items, be it alcohol for tarot cards, or the gym for all these things. It's not that they're wrong, they're fun. I still read cards sometimes, it's just fun, but it's the energy behind them and why you're doing these things. Like, it ultimately, the journey is coming into your own inner being, your own wholeness, knowing you're the creator of your experience. Lila, she's so cute. She's a bit grumpy though. Aren't you, babe? But yeah, it's you've totally put me off now. I was saying she loves having me around all the time. She's like in cat heaven. She's definitely manifested lockdown. I'm telling you. Yeah, so I don't know what I was saying. I've completely lost myself now. I just looked at my cat and I lost myself. She's so cute. I just looked and she just was like this. I don't know what's wrong with her. It's like she's just on sleeping tablets or something. She's zen, that's what it is. She's completely in the moment. But yeah, I've completely lost what I was saying, but I think I said everything I wanted to say. So I hope everybody is okay, and yeah, let me know how you are. I've been doing loads of working out. I partly why I'm not been doing videos. I'm so tired. I do my own yoga class as well on a Thursday. I started doing yoga again. You can just come and join for free if you want to come and test it out. Just let me know. And yeah, I've just been doing loads of workouts and I actually feel super tired. But yeah, I will speak to everyone soon.